Isaiah Wilson was traded to the Miami Dolphins. We had talked about Isaiah Wilson earlier, about a week ago, about how his time might be up with the Tennessee Titans, and he might be a first-round bust because he's had so many off-the-field issues. He even tweeted that his time as a Tennessee Titan is done, and the Miami Dolphins traded a 2021 7th-round pick for Isaiah Wilson, but the Tennessee Titans matched their 7th-round pick and traded them a 2022 7th-round pick. So they basically exchanged 7th-round picks, and the Titans said, here, just take Wilson. Just take him off our hands. So Isaiah Wilson, he has a lot of upside. I don't think he was worth that first-round pick when the Titans picked him, but nonetheless, he is a guy who has a lot of potential. The Dolphins need offensive line help. I think this move, because they made this move, I think it gives them even more of a reason not to draft a tackle at 3. You know, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, okay, now we desperately need a Penei Sewell. So I think Isaiah Wilson, even though he is a project, I think that helped that cause just a little bit. But right now, their tackles are Robert Hunt, Austin Jackson, 2 good young players, but I think Robert Hunt is more of a guard. Julian Davenport, who's a free agent. And this move was a low-risk, high-reward move. If Wilson lives up to expectations, the Dolphins have a starting tackle for years to come on a rookie contract.
Yeah, and you said pretty much all there is to say. I would even go as far as to say forget low risk. This is a no-risk, high-reward move. You swap 7th-round picks, essentially, and you got back a guy who, even if you think he was overdrafted in the first round, at worst, he's, a 2nd-round talent if you totally forget the off-the-field issues. Now, the off-the-field issues are a totally different thing. I think Brian Flores is a good head coach. I think he's got a good culture going on down there in Miami. And I guess the hope is you bring him in and you can set him straight. But the fact of the matter is you got a chance to bring talent into the building, especially on that offensive line where they could use some help. I think it makes perfect sense for them. They gave up essentially nothing to get him and essentially got the pick back that they gave up for him. So I think it was a great move for the Dolphins. I agree with you. I think it signals now they're definitely going to go with, more than likely a wide receiver or maybe Kyle Pitts if they want to go crazy at 3. But I figured that they were going to go with a weapon already, but I think this essentially confirms it. There's no way they're going to draft Sewell. They're going to go with a receiver at 3. And I give them props because what's the risk? What is there to lose in this move? All you can do is get a 2nd-round talent back to shape, back to form, and then you look like geniuses.
Yeah, I mean, I think this draft is about them drafting around Tua, building around Tua. So at number 3, getting an offensive weapon like a Jamar Chase, because I think Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith pretty much paved their way out of getting drafted by Miami because they called Mac Jones better, so I don't think they draft none of them. Jamar Chase seems the most likely, and the Dolphins have another first-round pick. Can they draft another tackle if he's there? You know, this is a huge possibility. Can they trade back and maybe get a Landon Dickerson from Alabama, who is the best center in this class, but he has some durability concerns, but he's still very good. I mean, next season, the Dolphins can have a revamped, not only receivers, but an offensive line. You can have Devontae Parker, Preston Williams, Jamar Chase, and the Dolphins are interested in James Conner and Aaron Jones. So an offensive Tua, Aaron Jones, Jamar Chase, Devontae Parker, and Preston Williams, I think is a pretty damn good offense. And Mike Gesicki, I'm forgetting about him as well. But that's a pretty good offense.
Yeah, and you're talking about an offense surrounding Tua, who the question marks have swirled ever since last season. You know, I think people wanted him to perform better in that first year, but the fact of the matter is the offensive line wasn't great. The weapons weren't great. So now if you could come back this season with an improved running back, a couple of new receivers, and a better offensive line, you give him a chance to prove himself. Who knows? Maybe he has a breakout second season, and you definitely give him a better chance to succeed than you did last season.
You know, I think this next season he's going to have a breakout year. And what I mean by that is that I think he's going to, this next season that he plays is going to be the season that everybody's like, oh, okay, so he is a starting quarterback in the league. Oh, okay, so he is a quarterback worthy of leading an offense. Because I think right now there are a lot of people on the train of Tua is a bust, And, you know that I was very critical of Tua early in the year. And that's because they drafted him over Justin Herbert. And I think that's fair to say. I mean, you drafted Tua over a quarterback in Justin Herbert, who I think is going to be an exceptional quarterback. So, of course, it is a move that in hindsight, you're like, wow, that was a bad move. But never did I say Tua was going to be a bust. I never said that once. I just said the Dolphins are going to regret drafting Tua over Justin Herbert. And to this point, it looks like it's pretty true. But I will say this. There is this growing idea that the Dolphins should take a quarterback at 3 because Tua is not that guy. And I'll say this. Yes, only if this happens. And you know what that is?
Yeah.
If Zach Wilson,
exactly.
If Zach Wilson falls to 3. If Zach Wilson falls to 3, yeah, then you take Zach Wilson because I think Zach Wilson really is special. But Justin Fields is not ready to play right now. Trey Lance is not ready to play right now. So you take Trey Lance or Justin Fields at 3, that's pretty damn stupid to me.
Yeah, and I don't think that drafting Mac Jones at that spot would be putting him in a position to succeed with that offense.
And that's the thing is, I like Mac Jones as a prospect, and I think you can argue that he's a slightly better prospect than Tua because he is taller, he has a better arm. But Mac Jones at 3, how much of an upgrade is he going to be over Tua if you're not going to get a Jamar Chase? I think Tua is capable of being a really good quarterback in this league. People have to tone down the criticism because he dealt with a lot. He dealt with the career-ending groin injury at Alabama. He had no offseason, and Brian Flores is basically playing QB carousel with him by benching him a bunch of times. So he dealt with a lot last season. This next season, having a year under a brand new offense, having an offseason, having more weapons, having a better offensive line, he is going to be better. We know. It boggles me that some people have not understood this about the NFL. Situations matter. And the Dolphins have one of the better situations in the NFL right now in terms of the weapons around Tua. Like, Tua's not walking into a situation that Darnold walked into where your best receiver is Jamison Crowder. I mean, Tua has legit guys on that offense. So he is going to be good in that offense. Is he going to light the world on fire and be a top 5 quarterback? I don't think so. But is he going to be a good quarterback? Is he going to show you, yes, I can win games for the Dolphins? I think he will. And I think all of the criticism and all of the people calling him a bust 1 year into his career and not even a 16-game sample size is pretty overblown.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And like the one thing you mentioned that I'll add on to, if they do get Zach Wilson to drop to 3 and they drafted him, the good thing is if you did move on from Tua, I think you could still get some really good value for him from some quarterback needy team in the league.
Yeah, like I said, the only player I would draft over Tua, I would draft to replace Tua in this draft is Zach Wilson.
And Lawrence, I would imagine, but we know he's going to win. It's either going to be Wilson or Lawrence. So that's the only reason. That's the only way I do it. And I don't think Zach Wilson is going to fall to 3. I think he's going to get picked second by the Jets. I hope so. I agree, and I think even if the Jets don't pick him, they'll trade out of that spot and somebody else will pick him.
Yes, there are 2 number 1 picks in this draft. It's Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson.
There's no reason for the Jets, even if they for some reason don't want Zach Wilson or they think they have their guy in Sam Darnold, there's no reason for them to pick a 2 because somebody like the Panthers will give them a haul for that second-round pick, or that second overall pick, I should say.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So I'm hoping Tua does succeed because, I think this past year the criticism towards him has been really unfair.